Okay, so I've been wanting to make this pattern. I believe it's from the 1970s, but it's supposed to be a pattern that you can just turn scraps that you have left over from other projects into a skirt, into a apron. There's 4 main panels, and then there's 2 pockets. One, I think it's this tall pocket, is supposed to have this kitty transfer. Now it was folded, so the transfer markings have kind of pasted onto areas where they shouldn't have. So there's this one, and then this one I believe is supposed to be the pot holder. So you're supposed to be able to make a matching pot holder kitten that would go into this pocket. And I think this is a super adorable pattern to make. And I want to make it in Halloween fabrics so that it's a Halloween-y black cat. I'm gonna probably make the kittens in black, and I'm thinking maybe I might paint on the eyes. I'm not sure. We will see. What I'm gonna do right now is go through my fabrics of leftover cotton fabric prints that I have from other projects to try to make these 4 panels out of fabrics that I have. Alright, so the 2 center panels are supposed to be 9 inches wide and 21 1/4 inches long. And then the end panels are supposed to be 8 and, is that 3/4 wide, and then 21 1/4 inches long. So let's see if I can cut out pieces to those dimensions. Okay, so I have these 2 fabrics. What I might do is do 2 panels in these colors. So do one, then the other, then one, then the other. So it alternates these 2. And then we could either see if I have any more different fabrics for the pockets, or on the panel where I use this one, I could use that fabric, and then on the panel that I use, like this fabric, I use, that fabric, alternated. So let's see what ends up happening. I'm going to cut out 2 panels out of this and 2 out of this. So I'm coming back to this project. This is the apron pieces that I have cut out so far. And I'm also going to work on making my husband a Western style shirt with like these yoke pieces at the top. And that I'm going to make with these 2 fabrics. This is going to be the main part of the shirt, and then this will be the like Western style yoke to be together. But I'm going to work on them at the same time, because after I make sure I cut all of the pieces for the shirt, then I might use leftovers of these 2 for the 2 pockets. So that is what I am thinking. So I'm going to work on both this men's shirt and this vintage apron pattern at the same time. Okay, so right now I'm actually going to trace this pattern, and for adjustments that I did make for a shirt, I did have to make the sleeves wider. So I'm also thinking that I'll make it to where both sides, that the center front edges turn in to make the placket area. So this will be like a permanent, just basic button-up shirt for my husband whenever I want to make him a shirt, which I am going to make him another one for Christmas, because yes, this is possibly cringy, but we are going to have matching Christmas outfits. We saw the perfect fabric that we both loved we're gonna have matching Christmas outfits. I'm sorry. So I want to have the pattern available that I could just use straight up and not have to fiddle with it all. So I'm just gonna copy it on the Star Wars paper, Christmas wrapping paper, and we will have a pattern for him. And then I don't have to keep pulling this vintage 1970s pattern out, and I'll have it copied. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to take stock and remembering what I have done so far for these two projects. So I started making one of the black cats for the apron. I have the shirt pieces for my husband also laid out, but I haven't cut out the contrasting yoke pieces for his shirt, so I do need to do that. And then I'm gonna end up needing to embroider the cat face, and this will just be like sitting underneath the pocket. And it'll be cute and just peek out. And then there is a hot pad that you can make. I'm not sure if I feel like making that. I might just leave it as the one cat peeking out that's decorative. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment, but I have a lot of orange on my table right now, and I do love it. So I pinned on the yoke decorative pieces onto these. I also pinned together the apron, and so I'm thinking I'm going to take these over to my sewing machine, and these will be top stitched, the decorative yoke pieces on the shirt, and then I'll also bring my apron pieces to sew those panels together. Alright, so the contrasting yokes are top stitched on. I think the next course of action for the button-up shirt, there's children. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's children playing, neighbors, and they're being very loud, but oh well. So I next need to, I think, do interfacing for where the buttons and buttonholes go, where those front edges will be folded in to form a placket. So I think that is the next thing I need to do. Okay, so it's the next day. I am loving how the apron is looking. All I have to do on that is do ties coming from the waistband. So then that would be an easy finish. And then we're actually, I think, going to do some pumpkin carving later today. So if I do finish the shirt and the ties on the apron, maybe we could wear them to pumpkin carving and be kind of matchy. So I have the sides pinned of the shirt and the shoulders. And yesterday I already sewed like the placket part of the center front. It's folded in with interfacing. So I'm thinking I might try the button feature on my sewing machine so that I can finish the buttonholes quicker than I normally would, which I would normally hand sew them, but that takes a long time. But if I used the button feature, I could possibly finish this today relatively quickly. So I'm going to sew these together, and then I need to work on the collar and put in the sleeves, hem the bottom, and then I could do the button stuff. So maybe I'll be able to finish this today. I don't know. For reference, it is 5:56 in the morning when I'm getting started on this. My husband just left for work, so maybe by the time he gets home, I can finish this. And yeah. Okay, so this is the button options. I think I would probably just do this one. Alright, so it's now 6:30 and I have sewn the shirt together at the shoulders and the sides. And then what I just did was I trimmed down one edge of the seam allowance and tucked it under, pinned it, and I'm going to top stitch it down so that all of the inside edges will be nice and finished. So I'm just going to like top stitch over this filled seam. I'm not going to do it by hand. I'm just going to sew that by machine, and then I have the sleeves here, and I'm going to sew those closed, and then I will also top stitch down the seams and fill them like the rest of the shirt. Alright, so those seams are filled down. This is what it looks like on the outside. I think I might iron it just to make it look a little sharper and cleaner. And then I also sewed the sleeves closed, but I need to fill those real quick. Right, so I just finished filling the sleeves down, and this is what it looks like on the outside now. And there's this slubby bit right here in the fabric that I noticed, but that's fine. So the sleeve seam is fell down, and now I just need to insert the sleeves, and then we can work on the collar and hem the bottom. And then I'm going to have to practice making buttonholes on my sewing machine because I haven't done that before. So I'm working on the collar now. I put the interfacing in. I'm going to turn this right side out and then put the collar on the shirt. I'm also currently freaking myself out a little bit because do you ever listen to like scary stuff while you're sewing? I sometimes do. I'm listening to Selena Spooky Boo's, well, a video that popped up for me in the suggestions, so a little scary, and I'm alone. I have my cats though. Alright, so I just sewed this on one side, and now I'm going to tuck in the edges of the collar like this, and I'm going to make this seam go up, and then this edge will be folded in, and it'll finish off that neck edge nicely. So the right sides of this fabric was sewn to like this, and yeah, now on the inside we're going to cover up all of the seam and everything, so it'll end up looking like this on the inside. The collar is on, and I just folded up the bottom hem and folded up the hems on the arms, turned them in twice, and now I'm going to sew those down. So I grabbed my buttonhole foot. I fit the button in the back to how big the button would be, and I just did my first test. And it looks pretty good. I guess I got it too close to the edge though. And then it basically starts right here, and then it moves back, goes side, and then moves forward. So the starting point is the actual like bottom of the button, and then it works its way up. So that's good to know. And this looks like it should be a good size. Where's my button? Yeah, it looks like it sized it pretty well. So now that I know where it starts sewing the button and everything, I think I could mark those on the shirt for the buttonholes. This is the button that I'm going to end up using. It seemed like the best option from what I have. It's like a really dark blue, and I have a bunch of them. So this is what I will be using. Alright, so this was so quick and easy to do these buttons. It's like 12 in the afternoon, by the way, time-wise, when I got to this, but most of the buttons turned out good. A couple of them, it started messing up and going over the same part multiple times, and I just kind of had to move the zigzag stitch and myself rather than the automated thing. So this button and this button kind of messed up and was doing weird things, as well as this one, but the last button turned out fine. So just about three buttons. I don't know why it was messing up, but it was. But the rest look fine. And since this fabric is kind of busy, I don't think it'll be super noticeable. Plus there will be a slit cut in the middle, and a button will go through, and the button will kind of hide the stitches. So I'm not worried about it. So now the shirt is essentially done. I'm gonna have to cut in the middle of each buttonhole and sew on the buttons, and then this will be done. Then I can work on the ties to my apron, and my two sewing projects for this video will be complete. So next time I do buttonholes, I'm definitely going to use my sewing machine again, because that was so quick. I did this in about 10 minutes, and sewing buttonholes by hand takes a lot longer than 10 minutes. So now I'm going to start sewing on buttons, and I'm going to cut open these. I should find my seam ripper, because that might be the easiest way to cut open the buttonhole areas. Hey, so it's 1:40 p.m. My husband isn't even off work yet. He gets off at 3. So I finished the apron. I finished his shirt. Now when we do the pumpkin carving later today, I can wear my apron and he can wear his shirt.